Well, good morning, everyone. It's great to be back on YourTV for another update for the city of Belleville as we deal with these COVID times. And I want to start off by saying, first of all, this week's update is for the week of July the 12th, just so we can keep track, because after almost 15 months of doing this, everything's kind of blurring together. So I want to state, so you know when you're hearing this message from. But I also want to say another big thank you to the folks at YourTV for making this opportunity available to me so that I can share some news. And I hope that it's been informative and helpful. And I also have to say a big thank you to YourTV, because they also help us with our city council meetings. I'm coming today from the chambers of the new city council chambers here on the 4th floor, the renovated ones, and you can see some of it in the background. But we're not quite ready yet. And so our video streaming capacity is not there, but YourTV was so kind to be able to come in and make their feed available to the city. So we were able to put that up on our website, that we're required to have our meetings be public. And while people cannot come and join us and watch in the gallery, they can see it on streaming. So, you know, if we would not have had YourTV's cooperation, we would have had to have another virtual meeting, and we really loved being able to get back together safely and have that meeting. So what I first always do when we have these videos is I start off with a little bit of an epidemiology update on terms of the numbers of where our case counts are. And so as of Tuesday this week, we had 0 new cases, and that brought us down to 4 active cases for the entire region. There are no folks in hospital. There are no folks on ventilators. There are no folks in intensive care. This is wonderful. We have had 1,153 COVID cases in our region since the beginning. And that number is low because we've done such a good job with managing the spread in the community, but also because we have been so careful with each other. And that is really the sign of a wonderful community. You know, we've seen, as I've talked about the last few weeks, we've seen the testing numbers go down. And that's natural because, first of all, there's less COVID in our region in terms of there's less potential for community spread and less people testing to make sure they haven't got it. But also it's because of our incredible vaccination numbers. And so what do I mean by that? Well, 78% of our population, so that's 117,000 people, have received 1 dose of the vaccine. And over 50%, 75,079 people are fully vaccinated, meaning they've gotten both the first and second dose. And that is incredible news. And that's really also what's keeping COVID out of our community, because people are vaccinated against it. So that has been very, very good. And what does that mean? Well, it means we get more relaxations of the restrictions in Ontario. And so we're now going to be moving into step 3 this week. So on Friday at 12:01 a.m., we will be in step 3, and step 3 allows us to enjoy the benefits of step 1 and step 2, but at a better level. So for example, outdoor social gathering limits that used to be 25 are now going up to 100 people for events. So if you are having a wedding, or if you were having a celebration of life because you couldn't do it during the other restrictions, or any of those types of gatherings, we're now able to have gatherings up to 100 people. Indoor events go up from 10 to 25. There are indoor dining is allowed again in restaurants, and there are no limits on indoor dining other than the amount necessary for social distancing. So every restaurant will have different capacities based on their on the size of their facilities, and the Hastings and Prince Edward Health Unit is working very closely with them so they can do it. And I believe that all of those establishments have to have a sign on the outdoors. So when you walk in, you can see that it's 75 people allowed, or 25 people allowed, or 300 people allowed, whatever their capacity limits is. And that's a great thing. We are, and there's no more limits in terms of table size when you go to a patio or when you go indoors. It is just about what is permitted from a socially distanced point of view. So if you remember step 2, where we're in right now, you can only dine outdoors, and you can only have a table of no more than 6. Unless they're part of the same family, and that's changed. So that's great news. Our sports and recreation facilities, so that's the CA Arena and the Quinte Sports and Wellness Center and libraries and concert venues and museums and theaters, the movie theater, they are allowed to have 50% occupancy or 1,000 people, whatever the number is lower. And so that is wonderful news. And I know that, especially during a hot summer, some of us love to go and watch a movie at the theater because it's cool and air conditioned inside. Well, we'll be able to do that again. And so we really miss that, and that's great. And all retail is now able to open, including gyms and fitness places and other places. And they are allowed to open with capacity limited to the number of people, again, that can maintain social distancing. So those are great developments. I want to thank everybody for working so hard. That's the reason why we're able to enjoy these new freedoms. And I hope that you really do appreciate it. And again, like I always say, let's be careful not to be too hard on the staff and the owners of these businesses, because many of them are opening up after a long time of being closed. So there's going to be issues with getting supply lines, so products to sell, but also their staff are being trained. And, everywhere I go around the city, I see help wanted signs. People are hiring. And so there's a lot of training going on, and let's just be patient. I think we all appreciate now so much more the wonderful services that we have in our city. And I just encourage everyone to act like that, to show these people that we appreciate the services they provide to us, and we're so happy that they're back to work. This week on the 12th, we had a city council meeting for Belleville City Council. And again, big thank you to YourTV for helping with the filming of it. And some of you were able to watch that council meeting. It was an hour and 5 minutes, so it was quite nice. But there was a couple of real notable things that came out of that meeting. First of all, a couple delegations, which were some great news. Hastings County Historical Society made a deputation to us on this new stroll of discovery that they have that stretches from Myers Pier, and it runs 5 kilometers north along the Moira River, and it points out 40 different locations that have historical significance for the city of Belleville. And so I encourage you to reach out. Here is the Historical Society's website address here on the screen, and you can contact them for where they have these booklets that are available for people to use as they walk along there, or where you can download that information. And I think everybody will find something on there that they did not know about Belleville and our history. And so we really appreciate this volunteer organization and what they do for our city. And this stroll of discovery is a great thing to do in the outdoors. It's COVID friendly and COVID safe, and it'll teach you something about our wonderful city. The second deputation that we had was from the Humane Society of Hastings Prince Edward. And what great news we had. Last week, we were able to do the groundbreaking of their new facility. And that is such an overdue thing for us in our city. If you've ever been to their current facility on Avonlow Road, you'll understand just how terrible it was. And I'm not exaggerating when I say terrible. The conditions we put the animals in, not to mention staff and volunteers. This is going to be such a wonderful new facility. We're so grateful to them. And last week, Mayor Harrison and I were invited to the groundbreaking because in addition to the funds that the city of Belleville and Quinte West are donating, we also made available a $1 million loan from each of our cities so this project could start while they continue to fundraise. And so they made a deputation, gave us an update on the new facility. They also presented me with the shovel that I used to do the groundbreaking last week. And it's really, really special to me because I have always been, and our business has always been, a supporter of the Quinte Humane Society, now the new name Hastings Prince Edward Humane Society, or sorry, the other way around, Humane Society Hastings Prince Edward. And I always felt that animals don't have a voice, and any difficulty they're in is because humans have put them in there. And so we should be doing something for them. And I'm so happy that this is happening. We expect that facility to open in July 2022. So great news. Last week, I was pleased to join Belleville Chamber of Commerce President Peter Kempenaar and the Executive Director Jill Raycroft for the launch of curbside culture. Now, normally we would be doing a waterfront festival, and we would be having a wonderful midway and other activities and food vendors and being able to buy things and having music and all those kinds of things. Well, COVID has kind of wreaked havoc on that as well for us. So for the second year, the Chamber pivoted and provided this curbside culture, where they brought some of the food vendors that we love to experience at the fairgrounds and different locations in the city, as well as down where the pop-ups are. And last week we were able to do the launch of that. And I want to thank the Chamber for organizing this wonderful event and for all they do. And they gave us some very, very good news, which is that later this month, so in the month of August, and the dates will be announced a little more formally, but I believe it's the third week of August, we are going to be one of only 6 locations in all of Southern Ontario that will have world's finest midway here. And so they are able to operate now safely with the new Step 3 requirements. And we're excited about them coming here. And that'll be a real great addition to what's going on at West Zwicks Park in terms of the pop-ups. Yesterday, I was so pleased to join some fellow members of the Lexicon board. The city of Belleville, we are part owners of a Lexicon Corporation, and that is the electricity company that provides electricity for many residents in Belleville. And we're part of a 5 municipality company. And I serve on the board as the mayor. In addition, in this picture, you'll see Doug Parker, who was a former city councillor and the former chair of the Belleville Utilities Commission prior to 2000. And Doug was there along with Jeff O'Neill, the local supervisor for our area from Lexicon Energy. And we presented a check for $2,000 to Sam Brady. And Sam Brady is part of the Rotaryloveskids golf tournament, which is coming up the end of next week. And that tournament is so great because it raises money for children's charities. And so far, over the last 19 years, they've raised $1.6 million for children's activities and children's charities. So what a wonderful organization. And it was great that Lexicon provides some of the support to these worthy groups, volunteer groups, and it's fantastic. And the last thing I want to talk about this morning is something to do with our bees. And this is a picture from this morning when I was joined by Councillor Chris Mollett, Chair of the Green Task Force, and Councillor Bill Sandison, who's a member of the Green Task Force, as well as Roland Cave Brown Cave from the city. And this is our Let It Grow campaign. We've launched this, where in certain parts of the city, we're not going to be cutting the grass as low as other areas. And that's because we are trying to encourage pollinators. And what do I mean by that? Well, bees in particular need longer grass in order to live and to thrive. And when you cut your grass really, really short, it takes away those opportunities and you see a lowering bee population. But bees are essential to pollinating plants and flowers and vegetables and all the things that we rely on to give us clean air, but also to eat. And so this idea came from a Belleville resident about having this Let It Grow area. And we, one of our staff members connected with Northamptonshire Council in Great Britain, in England. And they run a similar program and gave us some great ideas. So here is a photo of us launching it. Here's a sign that will go at these facilities throughout the city. It says, "Pardon the weeds, we're feeding the bees." And it's going to be posted in different areas. So I know some people are very quick to call me and send me a message when grass is not being cut properly in parts of the city. So, make sure you're aware of it. I'm sure I'll get a few complaints about this, but we're really proud of this. And we're also suggesting to residents that you have your own patch of 10 by 10 grass on your property, as long as it's meeting our bylaw standards. But you can also encourage bees in your areas. Again, bees typically don't bug us unless we bother them, but they're so important to pollinating in the city. And that's something that we were launching today. So again, thank you to everybody that's involved in it. So that's my update for this week. And I expect that we'll have some exciting news next week about another food service location relocating to the Belleville region. And I'm just going to give that tease out there, especially if you like breakfast. You're going to love this new business. And so more news about that will come out for my video next week. But I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Get outside, enjoy the beautiful outdoors. Here's a picture of me also this morning when I did my video for my city video from the Corby Rose Garden. And that's a beautiful facility on Ann Street and Bridge Street. And it's for everybody in the city, not just residents in that area, but for everybody in the city. Take a look at it. It's lovely. We live in such a beautiful community. I hope you take advantage of it. And I'll be back in touch next week with another update from the city of Belleville.